Okay, so week 3. There's quite a bit to do for week 3. This is where you begin to really build your Moodle course and add quite a few things, but we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, you have a discussion board to go over here. This discussion board will be discussing 2 Web 2.0 tools that you might use in your online course. You want to make sure you name the tool, your rationale for using that tool, and if you can connect it to your objectives that you've already discussed, that would be ideal. And then how will you assess how this tool has been used in the class? Some examples might be something like Google Docs. That could be considered a Web 2.0 tool. Google Forms if you make a quiz or something like that. Something like Edpuzzle if you're familiar with that, where you can post a video and put questions and comments as the video goes through, and it'll tell you who's watched the video and what percentage they've watched, and how they did on the questions if you have multiple choice questions, things like that. So you will of course also want to respond to at least 2 other students and try to make those responses a thoughtful response as well, not just a hey, great job. Then your assignment for the week, this is pretty much the bulk of what you're going to be working on, has quite a few areas. This looks pretty daunting, but when you get into it, it's a lot, that's for sure. But I think as you start to go through it, it goes quickly, relatively speaking. So it's not as bad as it first looks, I would say. So you're going to want to make sure you include each of these areas. You want to check the class website as well, just to make sure that you don't miss anything, and there's some other details in there. So you'll want to, for instance, go to, week 1 of your course and put in your first assignment. You can put in an assessment. There is a way to build an assessment in Moodle. I've also put a tutorial, I've posted a tutorial on my YouTube channel and within the class on how to do just that. You also want to put, a forum in there, some synchronous discussions and asynchronous discussions. Synchronous being, something like a chat room, which I've also put a tutorial on how to do that on my YouTube channel and on the class. And so just, check these out, okay? Make sure that you look at these things and don't forget some of the details in there. And then I have added quite a few video tutorials, like I've just been talking about, on how to do some of these things. And I do have on my EDT sample course, I have, some examples of, how to post those things. When you're looking at the sample, please realize that it's not really a course per se, but it's just, an example of what items would look like in the course. And then I also follow those up with many of those things with video tutorials on how I created them. Let's see. The week 3 lecture this week focuses on how to embed media into Moodle, which you might need to know how to do. So you'll want to check that out. And the webinar is this pre-recorded webinar right here. So if you're doing this, then you are meeting the requirements for the webinar as well. Much it. I'm in the course right now and just wanted to show you where some of these things can be found. If you go to course resources, you can find in here links to video tutorials. So if you click on there, it'll take you directly to a folder that has a collection of tutorials. You can also go to my class website. So if you go to, and that link will be in the announcements section. If you go in here to EDT609 and go to video tutorials, you will see a collection of video tutorials here. Look a little bit different because I'm the author of this, so it looks a little different when I look at it. But there's a whole collection of video tutorials. And there are quite a few video tutorials within the class that are great. These I just did because they are specifically attached to things that you need to do in your Moodle course this week. So I just thought that might be helpful. You can also go to my YouTube channel and you can find these courses there. I'll put a link to at least one of those video tutorials on YouTube, so you can go find those as well. All right, hope this is helpful. Have a great week.